2 decades worth of commitment, giving back to the sport. You must be very, very proud of the way things are travelling at the moment, and hopefully will continue to travel for another couple of decades.
Yeah, so it was started by both Sue van der Merwe and myself. So Sue and I are still involved. Maria Kroon was also one of the original founders of the Young Horse series, but she hasn't been a part of it for many years. So it's really Sue and myself. We both breeders, we both riders. We love the sport. We love the horses. That's the biggest thing. We love the horses, and we felt that we needed a series like this. We've used sort of pieces of what they do in France and what they do in Germany. Obviously, their systems are far more sophisticated than ours. But I feel we also deal with thoroughbreds, which they don't. They only do with warm bloods. And, a thoroughbred, by the time they get to us, they've already had a career. They're already older without having done anything. We just decided, the way our format and the fact that you can come and we open the first course at 7:30 in the morning, and people can just walk, lead or ride their horses around and show them every jump. They can't jump anything, but they can work in the arena. They can show them everything so the horses get used to the arena. Then we've got the first class in which we have 6 jumps at 70 centimeters and 6 jumps at 90, and anyone who enters it has a minute in which to do whatever they like. They can not jump, they can just cant around, they can jump 10 times, do what they want. So it's a really gentle way to introduce young horses, and because we want them to do their best job. We're not trying to trick anybody.
Nobody more experienced than Gail and Sue. They've bred themselves, they've ridden at the top level successfully themselves, and I think it could do with some thought how to promote it and get it deeper and stronger. But I say this to you, that the production of horses is very expensive and the calendar is very full.
Those 2 ladies have certainly never given up on the idea, and I have to say, as a lot of professional riders, we have a lot of open horses and World Cup shows. So, for me, this is just such an amazing show to bring the young horses to in between all of those events. So they're still getting the mileage they need throughout the year. And the other thing, it's a wonderful show to bring the horses down a step, so especially when they start to get to 6 or 7 year olds, this is such a kind show for the young horses. So it's really amazing for building confidence. There's the arena orientation, you can take them in, you can give them the time they need. If they're a bit scared, you can give them confidence. There's always support from the Young Horse Performance Series, and it's really for the horses and for encouraging them to enjoy and love their job.
To Gail and Sue for running the Young Horse Performance Series for a number of years now. Hats off to them, because it hasn't just been a couple of years, it's been a long time. Yeah. Some of the best horses have come through here. I remember judging Capital Don Camarco at one of his first shows out at Sue van der Merwe's yard in Pretoria. And he went on to be an absolute legend of our sport. I think the Young Horse Series, yes, like you say, was adopted through the European system, and it's a worldwide system of producing the horses through the 4, 5, 6 and 7 year olds. I know it culminates in Zangerscheid stud with the World Jumping Championships for the young horses. So I think the concept is an amazing concept. Riders that have produced horses and taken them all the way to the top level, and just that satisfaction and I think the rapport that they have with their horses by the time they get there. They've gone through all the little ups and downs and bends and twirls and quills and whatever. So I think it must be the most rewarding feeling ever.
It is a very good place to produce young horses, and it's a great, they do it all overseas. It's a very big event overseas, Young Horse Performance. Just for instance, I won the 7-year-old final on Capital Coleman, and he went on and he's jumped World Cups with me. So I think breeding in South Africa has evolved unbelievably. So Lavubu is jumping on the international stage now with Robert Whittaker. He did with Bronwyn de Santos and Don Camarco. So, there are a lot of pedigrees now where horses are, their lineage has all gone to the top. And there are many studs around now that are breeding top quality jumping horses.
Finally, Dom, speaking to Jason Phillips the other day, who's been very, very busy in this series, talking to him about the levels of competition overseas. Now, with Ronnie Healy being over there and quite a few people having qualified for Aachen, are those horses up with the best in the world? It looks like they could be.
We'll have to see. That Babisi, Bronwyn's horse at the World Cup final was astounding. And then we watched her jump at Rotterdam, and she was unbelievable. So, do we know that those horses can jump that big? We've never really asked them to jump that big in this country, but I'm sure they can. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone. I think we have very, very talented horses. I just think that we don't have real 160 classes here. So maybe that's the next step for us.
Would a horse like Magic Boy possibly have the scope to jump that height, and even Ronnie's other horse that went head to head with Thomas in the South African final at KEP?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've definitely got scope. The question is whether they've got scope and they can go fast enough, because the sport has evolved so much. I mean, those are Ferraris. They don't only jump 165, but they do it galloping.
Yeah, I must admit we were absolutely in awe of what we saw at Windsor. And to see a guy like Martin Fuchs, I mean, you think to yourself, can they go faster than they're going already? Because we know how fast the Americans go, and they take a second or two off. It's just mind-boggling. So
if you look at that Scott Brash's new horse, that Hello Folly, the little chestnut mare, I mean, I don't think she's more than 16 hands. And at the European Championships, he lost his reins around the corner to the really big treble. But that little horse, he was so deep in, and it was two really big steps to a big oxer. And that's what they've bred nowadays. They've bred little horses with huge engines, with loads of scope, and they can get with lots of care. They've got to be careful as well.
Every horse that's come up has been entered into the Young Horse Series, because I really believe it's a fantastic introduction for young horses. And the other reason it is so good is because they're judged against their peers. So you can see exactly where you are with your breeding program, or with the quality of horses that you are producing and what they should be to aim at. Liam Duffy has come up this year and done a number of courses for the Young Horse Performance, and his courses have been sensitively and very well designed. And I'm impressed with his ability to understand the requirements for young horses, that they are testing enough, but they are not technical, because young horses are not ready for that. So we would like to continue sponsoring him for the rest of the series this year, at least, if not in the future.
Proper courses built by proper course designers, and you're going there with a different view. The whole outset is for an outing for the horse. Some of these horses might, at the beginning of the season, it's the first show they go to, getting them on the truck and getting them used to the showgrounds. And it is a whole no pressure issue. And then they grow up through the ranks without experiencing pressure, and then the day when pressure comes in the ring, or as they go higher and the pressure builds up, they handle it better.
You talked about getting used to the show arena. Now, there are various different opinions on this score, whether it's speaking to Dominic Alexander or whether speaking to Rogan Askin or whoever, Charlie Crockett. They all think that this particular arena can be quite daunting.
Oh, yes. Yes, the one where the series takes place?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. For sure. There's those gaps in the walls on I think it's on the western side. Yeah. Then you've got all the action here on the southern side, an open space on the northern side. Horses can see very far, so for sure there's a lot to distract them, and I think it's good stimulation. And through all of that, the horse learns to concentrate on what the rider is wanting and what's in front of him as time goes on. But a lot of the young horses, when they start, first out, it's difficult, and they spook away from the walls and whatever not. So yeah, I think it's definitely a testing arena, but when you've done some training and preparation in there, for sure they come on.
You cannot get away with just any old horse. It's got to be properly bred, and it's got to be properly nurtured to get to the top. And I think we may have that type of horse in this event this particular year that happens to be ridden by Johan Lotte at this moment in time. I don't know if he's crossed your radar.
I know Johan very well, and I know the horse reasonably well, and I agree with you that he is a potential superstar. So we're hoping that we can nurture a few more of these through the program over the next few years.
It's by accident that I ended up riding him. She had a riding accident, broke her foot, so she's out for the season. And instead of him standing doing nothing, the plan was to continue and get him, producing him up with Carden and Carlito. So I did not have, obviously did not know, but yeah, he's a lovely horse. He's a great horse to ride, a little bit cold, but always keen, looking, intelligent, clever, learns quickly, and I think going to be a really, really nice sport horse.
There's a theory that says you breed the best of the best and hope for the very best. But, you know, in this particular instance there, few can argue that Lavubu is amongst the best show jumpers in the world at the moment, now that he's competing in Europe and beautifully produced on the way there. And, of course, who can ever argue about the prowess of Don Camarco?
Yeah. A horse like this doesn't come along every day. And we're at the age now where I think we need to enjoy our riding. It's... I don't want to sound negative, but at some point in time you've got to hang up your boots. Okay, we're not there yet, but while you have a nice horse, enjoy it.
What is the most important aspect of the commentary team that is relevant to making a good broadcast?
Yeah, I think we've got some good teams right now from a commentary side of things. I enjoy listening to the commentary that's going around. I think they've added value. It's always nice when the commentators have that are in the sport. You know, they understand it. They know.
Brendan Sten, for example.
100%. Yeah, and they're in it. They're doing it. They know how hard it is, from that point of view. They've also, because they're in it and watching it, they know the background to a lot of the riders. They can give a bit of added value, which is interesting. So, you know, for instance, my family aren't always able to come to the shows, but they love it. My mom sits at home, watches it, and absolutely loves the live streaming. She has the ability for it to be on. She'll specifically watch my round, you know, from that point of view, but then she'll carry on watching or other 80 riders, you know, and then she'll pick up people that she's known through the years. So she hears a Barry Taylor come in and she then watches, or she hears a Dominic Alexander, and then she'll message me and say, gee whiz, you know, Dominic and Barry had such a great round, or, you know, or it was I think at SA Champs, all the ladies on Women's Day were first, second, third, fourth, and she said, you know, what a great thing to see all the women on Women's Day cleaning up, you know. So
Was it fixed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they rode fast enough. Trust me, they deserved it. So, you know, that's added a lot of value, I think, where it's made the sport accessible to just from my own point of view, to my family that wouldn't come down to Shangwenia, wouldn't do that, but they're able to have it running on their laptop in the office, or mom's able to sit at home and watch it in the background and stuff like that. And even owners that aren't able to get down are able to watch their horse. And you know, the commentators also help you when they've got nice things to say about the horse, and that, you know, it helps my cause as a rider for owners and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a great value, and we have some really good people that add a lot to us.
They all want to win the Derby, but before you win the Derby, there's a very long road to travel, and I guess that to a large extent the Young Horse Performance Series is one of the most important stepping stones along the way.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's really such a nice introduction series for your young horses. The fact that you can get there early and go into the ring, show them around, they're not alone in the ring, you can go with a bunch of other people, is really nice. And then on top of that, being able to do I always call it the exercise round beforehand, is really nice to just go in there and show them before actually doing your round. I think it's so nice for them to just go in there and breathe a little bit. You know, young horses can get so anxious sometimes, but it is quite daunting. On the one side, there's always horses in the paddocks there, and sometimes, you know, they buck and fart and run around, and then it sometimes causes your young horse to do that as well. But I think it's such good exposure, you know, they need to get used to it. You can't jump a World Cup series and then be like, oh no, your dog barked and that's why I had a rail. So I think it's really good that it is quite a spooky arena. They do have really nice fillers and lots of fillers, and they bring them out systematically, you know.
Have you got one that you think has the potential to be a champion? I mean, we all have hopes, but have you got anything that's competing at the moment that you think is going to get to the top?
Definitely. I've got 3 horses in the series at the moment. I have Lefroy, which is in the 4-year-old series. Though he's a bit tricky, I do think he's definitely top quality. I have Cipriano jumping in the 5-year-old category. He actually won the 4-year-old category last year, and I definitely think he's going to be my speed horse. If he'll jump 150, I'm not quite sure, but definitely 140 confidence horse. And then I've got Creighton in the 5-year-old. He's currently lying second in the series, which is just absolutely amazing. He's taken so much time, so it's quite nice to be able to bring him to the series, because it's been such a nice slow introduction, especially for your sensitive horses. So I think definitely he'll also jump top grades.
So we're going to see you on the 20th, and of course the 18th is the final leg of the series, which is going to be live streamed. And that adds a completely different dimension to the participation, the fact that it's live streamed and people can see it all over the world, can see it all over the country.
Definitely, I look forward to it. It's going to be amazing. It's always so nice to have some live streaming, you know, because then not everybody that can come to the show, and it's so nice for them to be able to watch from afar as well. I think it's a brilliant way to help grow our sport and the people watching the sport. It's amazing, and I can't wait to compete. It's always such a nice, fun show to look forward to.